Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're back with romantic comedy author KJ Michike. Thanks for joining us, KJ.
Great to be back.
Yeah, we are so looking forward today to discussing publicity and marketing with you.
Yes, that's a doozy.
I bet. So, my first big question for you would be, what are the most effective social media platforms for promoting a romantic comedy novel? And how, as an author, could I leverage each to my target audience?
So, obviously you have to be like a master of all things algorithm, right?
Right.
I am not a master of all things algorithm, so I'll say that up front. And I don't know a ton of people who are just because I'm not, right? But I'm on Instagram. That's where I feel most comfortable. I think you have to balance your own personal level of comfort with putting yourself and your life and your, business out there, with your technological capacity, which I'm also not particularly tech savvy, which is great. I'm a good writer. That's where I flourish. But I will
Right.
say Instagram and TikTok are obviously the thing right now. TikTok at this exact moment, I don't know what will happen with it. It's kind of that's like up in the air from what I hear. But
Mhm.
Instagram Reels are the jam at the current moment. Um, Again, that's really hard for me. I don't love video, but yet here we are doing video. Um, and I think that as long as you subscribe to all the things where you can learn about the algorithm so that you kind of know what it is at the time that you're watching this video, because it probably will be completely different by the time you watch this.
Mhm.
Um, and then sort of go in that direction. But just make sure that you don't compromise your own comfort level too much because it will come off as very inauthentic if you're like, hey, I'm KJ Michike and I love to be online. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it will just feel weird and people won't connect with you as a human, which is what they are really looking for.
Right, exactly. You want to be yourself and you'll
Mhm.
find readers that connect with that and the way you currently are. You don't have to
Exactly.
change. Yeah. And how can I, as an author, create an engaging book trailer that kind of captures the essence of the novel to attract potential new readers?
I have to be honest, for something like that, I've never done it. So I would have to outsource something like that. I'd have to ask for help, go online, find a professional who knows how to do that. I've seen them and I'm highly impressed by the work that is out there. Um, what I have found for myself, even better than a book trailer and better than all the internet stuff that exists, is that I go out into the community with my books.
Mm,
I'll go out on I for the first book, I booked myself a pretty big DIY tour. So
nice.
I was in bookstores all over the Northeast predominantly. And now for the second book, which just came out 2 weeks ago, I've done the same thing, but also I've now got some publishing support from my publisher because the first book did so well. So they're
Mm,
sending me places as well as the places that I'm going on my own. And I find that engaging with readers in real life is going to sell way more books than putting together anything online. Although, of course, online, you're going to have a wider reach. When you engage with someone one on one, face to face, you can create a reader for life. And then all the books you put out after, that person's going to want to come back to it because they've had that moment with you. So I'm really more of a like boots on the ground kind of girl. But if I were to create a book trailer that was engaging, I would definitely hire someone else to do it because I'm not the right fit for that job.
yeah, that's a great point. And in that regard, I think that you're so right. There is always more of a connection face to face than there ever will be through social media. You can get a wider reach, but you may create a lot more lifelong readers that you meet, each of them face to face at, say, a book signing or something. And in that regard, have you done some like book clubs or, been on any podcasts or like online book communities?
I have done some, but most of those that I get, I don't get from like my amazing online presence. I get them from
Mhm.
to bookstores. So if I'm at a
Right.
bookstore and I meet a reader and the reader's like, oh, I can't wait to read this with my book club. I'll be like, oh, okay, tell me when that is. Like, hit me up on Instagram, let me know, and I'd be happy to zoom in. And they're like, what? You would? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a human. I'm a human person, and I'm more than happy to talk about the stuff that I've written. And especially if you guys like it and you want to talk to me about it or ask questions or whatever, what is a half an hour of my time on Zoom with a group of like 8 people? That's 8 readers that you didn't have before that you might have forever now. So like that's
Right.
a good investment of time much more than, in my opinion, much more than like some of the stuff I could invest my time on social media doing. So I do, and I love anytime. I just wrote a blog post about this actually, and it's called "Say Yes to Everything." I'm a baby author. I'm a new author, right? So I have, if someone offers me the opportunity to do anything, the answer is yes. I will definitely do it. I'll do whatever I can to put the work out there, in the hopes that I won't have to do that forever, right?
Right.
But I'm more than willing to do it now because I feel like every single reader matters, every single
Mm.
thing. And I hope that I'll always feel that way. And I think that I will. But you know, now while I have some bandwidth and have, you know, this whole new like life that I'm promoting, I'm really, really eager to share it with people.
Yeah, I love how you are very strong in who you are and your brand. And I know that romantic comedy can be a very crowded market. Is
Mhm.
there a specific way that you just, we've touched on it a little bit, but stick to your guns and try to stand out in a crowded market like this?
So one thing that makes my work a little different thus far has been the level of comedy. There's a lot of physical comedy in my work, and that sets it apart a little bit. So I try and lean into that whenever, you know, whenever asked. When I go out and do public speaking, people think I'm funny. I like to make people laugh and I like to engage with them. And if people walk away having a good time, then they're more likely to come back. But I mean, I'm very lucky too. I think the covers of my books are beautiful. I don't draw them. That's not up to me. That's up to the publisher. I think that that helps them to stand out on their own. Um, and I think just again, just being out there all the time. Like the more people see you, the more people are like, wait a minute, she's going where? She's going to be in where? Like I just booked this 4 city thing. It's Minneapolis, Denver, Salt Lake City, and Kansas City, Missouri. These are all places I've never been. And I'm just like for a day each spot because why not? You
Yeah,
know, and who knows who I'll meet out there. And
right.
you know, I think the more of that that you do, the more people see you, the more they see your work. Like, oh, I've seen it on social, and then I saw it on this, you know, podcast, and now she's here. What cool! And it's that advertising rule of 3. Like people have to see things 3 times in order to have it stick. So,
Mhm.
so I think you just have to be everywhere as much as you possibly can for as long as you can until you completely burn out, and then take a big nap.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to do the work. You got to, go see the people and get on the podcast. And you're right. I think saying yes to everything always seems to pay off,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to get exposure and build a brand, and sell books.
Mhm.
My last question for you would be when you are, getting new readers or even trying to just like get the most out of your current readers and your current fans, how do you get good quality book reviews and endorsements?
So book reviews just come about naturally. I don't ask anybody for book reviews. My publicist through my publisher, which is Source Books, she submits my book to the trades. Obviously, I think that's like a standard thing. And so like I got a Publishers Weekly star review for the book proposal, which was my debut. But I had nothing to do with that except for just writing the book, and then she did all of that. When it comes to like human people, like influencers and whatnot, I do put together all of my promo boxes. So like when you see the unboxings online,
Hmm.
I curate those boxes, put them together myself, and literally package them like in-house,
Oh,
which is
neat.
something that I don't think a lot of people do. Um, so that I think helps just to again put the images out there on the internet, right? Because all of
Mhm.
those influencers have wide reach. But those are not reviews. Reviews, they have to read the book and then they come back and hopefully they like it. And so far so good. I mean, Storybook Wedding is doing quite well in its reviews. But again, I don't pay for reviews. I don't ask for reviews. Um, I really feel like that should come generically. And, maybe I'm wrong to do that. Maybe this is a terrible piece of advice for people. Like, I don't know. I am sorry if this is bad advice, but I just hope that the writing is good enough that people will like it. Like,
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I think that's part of being authentic and, packaging those things yourself and having that connection with someone. And I think an influencer always cares more when they have an author who's kind of gifting it herself, not,
yeah.
just go give it to her. She wants that. So
Mhm.
no, I think that's a great idea.
And I hand select them. I mean, like I have a big list of influencers who my publicist has provided me with. And then the way I did it for Storybook, knowing that I was going to be on this tour, I said, okay, let's select influencers in the towns where I'm going to be. So
That's great.
it was just that simple. It was like, okay, well, if I'm going to Milwaukee, let's select a bunch from Milwaukee so that way they know. And then if they see, oh, wait, she's going to be here too, maybe one will show up.
Yeah, smart.
You know,
That's very smart. Well, thank you so much, KJ. That was so insightful.
you're welcome.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's interview with romantic comedy author KJ Michike. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.